Everybody, it's John here in plain sight. And like I said, this is going to be our second game of our leg. It's either going to be a separate bet altogether or it's going to be our second bet off of Iowa State. Based off of the way the game is looking, I believe Iowa State's going to hold. They're going to hold that 2 points. They're down 3 right now, but it's taken 4 personal foul calls, pretty obvious ones at that, to keep it as close as it is. And I'll notice that a lot with college games. You'll see a very close score despite a lot of favorable whistles. So Iowa State's looking a lot better. I think they do wind up winning. But our pick's going to be Florida regardless this game. We're going to be picking the Volunteers, actually, minus 10.5. And if you're doing this Martingale system, I'm putting the video out now. That way, if Iowa State is not to win the game, then we're going to be betting roughly 60 on Tennessee. And if Iowa State wins the game, like I presume they will, then we're just going to go back to our starting betting amount, which again is around to win $25. So here we see a lot. Florida's getting 11. Some sites will give them a little more. So they're getting between 10 and 11 points. And to me, this one jumps off the page for the simple fact, Florida, they're ranked 20th. They beat Utah to open the season, who's ranked, I think, 9th. And they've had a good couple games, but they shouldn't be 10.5-point favorites against Tennessee. Again, this is more a line you would see if they're playing Clemson. Maybe not Georgia, but Clemson. Like a top 7 team, you're going to see a 10.5-point favorite at home, even if they're playing another ranked team. But here with the 11 ranked Volunteers, who have been impressive this year, they just haven't shown enough to warrant being up 10.5. I do think it's jumping off the page a little bit, especially if you look at the over-under set at 62.5. If nothing else, Vegas always nails the over-under. It's always, usually at least, with 90% of their games, it's incredibly close. And again, Tennessee has a very good rush defense, and the only thing going for Florida really is a rushing offense. They don't have a passing offense. It's equivalent to a high school passing offense. You will see this in the game. So I don't think run option, like generic plays, are going to be working against the Volunteers, even by the narrative, by the fake rigged narrative. The Volunteers are a very good seasoned defense. So with the over-under being set where it is, I do think there are going to be points scored. I just think Florida keeps it closer in the first half and not so close in the second half. Because, again, I think they could run the ball a little bit, but outside of that, I think the scoring is going to start coming up for the Tennessee, where they easily cover this 10.5-point spread. And again, to me, they meet the criteria. They're getting, to me, the Gators getting way too many points for a game that should be a little more competitive than this. Tennessee has, they always talk about in college, well-rounded teams, and Tennessee has a bunch of seniors, a bunch of juniors, versus Florida, who's kind of an unidentified team right now. And as I said earlier, a lot of times you will see the home teams just do significantly better because they want the home crowds to return, honestly. It's as simple as that. If a team's winning at home, then they're going to have better sales. So I expect Tennessee to win pretty decidedly and Florida to be unranked after this game. Again, looking at both of these teams, the narrative, anything behind it, Florida shouldn't even be ranked. And I do believe that the fact that they're ranked, again, is just going to have people blindly taking the Gators with what seems to be a very favorable 10 to 11 points. So that being said, we are going to go ahead and pick the Volunteers. And as I said, if Iowa State is not to hold on, then we're going to be playing to win $31 here. It's actually going to be 31 plus the 25 because we bet 31 on the first game. So it'd be a total of around 60 that we'd be betting. But for now, like I said, as I believe Iowa State will hold, just like before, it's just going to be to win $25. this comes to 27 to win 25. So we're going to place our bet on Tennessee. And that's there. Now, I did that way anybody that's watching will be able to pick their team, because I do think Tennessee is a very strong team here. And again, you can just go based off of how the first game goes. I believe Iowa State wins, which is why for now I'm only doing to win 25. But we will change it and I'll add another bet to this, and we're going to be to win $60 if, again, Iowa State doesn't cover. I just wanted to solidify that point because this system is very important to always go back to the original bet of, in this case, 25 once you hit your game. But yeah, just look at the matchup, Richardson versus Hooker. I think you're going to see a very composed quarterback in Hooker, and you're going to see a very sloppy offense from the Gators. Again, might keep it close early, but I don't think it's that hard of a pick for Tennessee minus 11. So, again, everyone that watches, if you have any specific games you want me to comment on, just leave a suggestion in the comments. And if you pick these games as I am, you'll see our bankroll is just going to keep going up.